Hi guys, I'm back from my long break. Originally, I actually did do a video for my channel about 2 weeks ago, but I never published it because after I went halfway through it, I just felt like it didn't really make sense. Maybe it just wasn't the time to talk about that topic. But today, that is not the point of this video. I'm going to talk to you about my trip, a weekend at Banff/Calgary. So I just came back. It was kind of like a spur of the moment thing. My friend texted me the other night and he's just like, hey, what are you doing? Want to come with me to Banff? Honestly, I've been actually wanting to go to the mountains for a while now, so it was kind of nice to do that again. We basically planned it that we were gonna leave right when I was off my shift on Saturday night. It was possibly busy, so I actually wasn't sure what time I was done, so he had to keep waiting for me to text and be like, okay, not yet. Okay, now, you know, that kind of thing. We left at 10 o'clock at night. He drove through the night, but we stayed awake. On the way to Banff, we saw 3 white owls, and it was all in the same matter of time, but it wasn't like they were all together, like they were separate. And the last one was sadly dead on the side of the road. On top of that, we also saw a moose on the side of the road, and we were like, well, what is that? Because you could see the eyes, right? And then it looked at us and started running towards us, and so he screamed and just drove faster. Like, it was kind of actually nerve-wracking. We were both like, did we just get charged up by a moose? Oh my goodness. And there was like tons of fog, like it just felt very eerie, but it was kind of nice though. There was lots of bathroom breaks because I have like the bladder of a squirrel. Then we made it to Calgary, and at this point I started videotaping little things. We're driving into Calgary and we stopped, and at this point I brushed my teeth and I tried to make myself look a little bit presentable for the day because I did just stay up all night, so I'm probably looking really gross at this point. The sun started coming up at that point when we were driving towards the mountain. Then we started driving towards Banff. It was super foggy, and it kind of reminded me of like those pictures that you see of Australia when like the ground is just covered in white and they say, oh, that looks like fog. Actually, that's spider webs. It kind of reminded me of that because there was just such a nice fluffy cloud above the grass and just like the overall land of it. By the time we got to the mountains, it was so weird, right? When we were about to just head in, there was like a flow of fog just falling down slowly. Like it looked like mist or like waterfalls just slowly going down the mountains. It was so cool to watch. So we got in the inside, and then we headed towards something called Johnson Canyon or Johnson Canyon. I can't remember. That was an experience. But first, before we started, we actually slept for about an hour and a half. I think I slept 2 hours. He slept an hour and a half, but I just kept sleeping because I'm a sleeping beauty. And then he woke me up. And about that time, people started coming in. And so then we went to 3 different parts. So then we went to the upper part first. And so we got some really good shots of just waterfalls. I mean, like, it was just so beautiful. And at this point, the sun came out. Because like all morning we were worried that it was just going to be foggy all day, but it wasn't. And then we went to the upper fall. I don't know, that one wasn't really as memorable. Like, it was memorable, but it wasn't as memorable as I'd say the upper falls. The upper falls more worth it than anything else. And then we started going back down, and we were about to go to the lower part, and we looked at it and we're like, not worth it, because there were a huge line. We both agreed that that wasn't something we wanted to do. I think it was about 11 at this point. Sorry, I went off camera to go get a sweater. I'm feeling a bit chilly right now. On the weekend, I got a really bad burn, like right here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a line. Oh, and I should also add that on this trip, I was sick. Funny story, I was gonna like put on a face mask to like start editing and stuff because I like wearing face masks at night. And y'all know that I already mentioned in this video that I have a sunburn, like it's so bad, right? I put on the face mask and it started to burn my face. Like it was just, oh my god, it was crazy. And I'm like, why is this hurting? And then I'm like, wait a minute. Oh my god, I can't do this. I like washed it off. Anyways, back to the video. The sun came out and it actually started getting really warm, and so turned out it was just morning smog, like I kept assuming it might be, which was nice. So then from there, we headed toward, what's that place called? Oh, we went to Peyto Lake. I have no idea what that means. Apparently 2 people, that is a normal place, but we got some really sweet photos. It was a bit of a climb going up not gonna lie, I was out of breath halfway up. My goodness, I'm out of shape, but I felt pretty good because the person I was with was actually a personal trainer and he was out of breath as well, so I didn't feel too bad. But we finally made it to the top and the views, it was so wonderful. And then he's like, let's go all the way down, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. As some of you know, I have a terrible fear of heights. I was gonna just pull back and not go down further. I mean, I already got a selfie in front of the mountains and I already got like a couple of good other shots, so I was like, there's no point. But you know what, I can start, and if I get scared, I can just go back up. It's okay. So I started going down and I actually made it to the bottom. I was very proud of myself. I told him I'd take some pictures of him, and then he said he was going to take pictures of me. Not sure if I'll see those pictures at any point, but I decided while I was there, I wanted to meditate on top of a mountain. I felt really confident, I guess, just being there and like conquering a couple of my tiny little fears. When I was meditating, I was kind of just thinking about how it feels to be scared, you know, thinking about my fears and just how I'm actually completely balanced right now and I'm not gonna fall. And so it was kind of actually a healing process for me, I would say, in that second. Not that my height fear is fixed. I don't think it is. I want you as the viewer, sit there and enjoy the moment. Sometimes it's nice to just breathe. And I heard from my coworker about a place called Bow Lake, which had like a red cabin outside of it. It's like prairie mixed in with the mountains. Very peaceful. It was kind of gushy. I actually got my socks wet. I decided while I was down there, I'm gonna put my feet in the water. Yeah, it didn't last very long. Like, I made a clip of like maybe 2 seconds and I was freezing. It felt like I put my feet in an ice bucket. It was cold. Oh my goodness. And then again, I just had like a really nice moment in front of just sitting in front of the water. It was really good. On the other side, actually, of Bow Lake. I would say that I like Bow Lake for the sake of more, it kind of reminds me of the prairies, but next to the mountains, if that makes sense. Whereas Pado Lake is just very mountain-esque. You're just driving by like tons of different places, just looking at the mountains surrounding. Like, it was so, you couldn't see it in the morning because it was super foggy. Like, couldn't see anything anywhere. But as we were driving in the afternoon, it was like we were completely surrounded by mountains. It's an incredible experience. And then just decided to just call it a day. I think at that point, like, we were both like, ooh, kind of thing, because we again had only slept like 2 hours. So then coming back from Banff, honestly, no cell phone reception. Like, couldn't get any signal. Like, I knew that messages were coming in, but nothing was happening. So then eventually our phones started kicking in and we finally got the directions for Marine Lake. But again, we couldn't go to Marine Lake because of it just being blocked off. So instead we decided to leave that and go to, again, that town's name. I don't even know how it's said, but my uncle described it as a very like cowboy, cowgirl kind of feeling of a town. And driving through, it was very cute. We kind of like picked a post of like where to see the mountains and then the city as well. I don't really think it was a good spot, personally. And it was like, again, it would probably be better if the sunset was going down, but it was like 5 p.m. at this point. And then you could definitely see the horizons of thousands of mountains in the background. That was pretty cool to see. And then we started driving back to Calgary to see my family and everything. I actually forgot to mention this, so I might as well, because I have like the worst memory ever. While I was at my uncle's house, I was playing VR with my cousin. And y'all know I'm like a huge klutz. And I get really into things. So when I was playing the game, I actually took it seriously and ran to a desk. And yo, the bruise I got is so black and big. It's so not good. It was such a klutz. Yeah, and then like, so today we were just driving home and like the canola fields were everywhere. It was so nice, like to see yellow for miles. But we did end up actually going through at some point in Drumheller, which I would love to go back to sometime, but didn't go at that time, so it's okay. But next time. I hope you enjoyed this short video of my trip. Thank you for watching. Hi to all my 25 subscribers. I love you all. Feel free to subscribe to me if you want, but if you don't want to, that's cool too. There's no pressure. Feel free to look at me on all of my other websites and such. The links will be below in the description. I love you all. I hope you have a peaceful day or night, whatever it is. God bless, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.